The poles and wires going across? The poles and wire.
408 Griffins hug the ground in Kosovo, ready to dodge high-tension wires or small arms fire, and both are all too common.
The greatest thrill for me is operating every day in the tactical environment. And when I say tactical environment, I mean operating down in the weeds. You got a great sensation of speed. You know, the doors pin back. It's nice and breezy in the cockpit.
The CH-146 Griffin is a utility helicopter, a jack of all trades, and it's a bit shy on power to cope with conditions in Kosovo.
The Griffin here in theater seems to be working out pretty well. Some of the benefits of it are it's quite a bit faster than the twin Huey was. Smoother ride. So far with the temperatures here and the density altitude in Kosovo, we're finding that we're having a little bit of power problems, but that's been controlled in a sense by lowering our ramp load for fuel back at the base.
Back in Canada, our bread and butter is tactical airlift and logistic resupply, and here we haven't been doing that so much. We've been doing more of a surveillance, observation, and overwatch role, which is it's new to us. It's one that we did in the Kiowa, and the Kiowa was a machine designed for that, but it was a different type. It was in close on the ground, and it was such a small machine with a small noise signature that you could get close to the targets you were looking at. Whereas here we have to adopt whole new tactics to fly higher. We've got a very large noise signature with this aircraft, as well as it's a big aircraft, so we can't just hide it between two buildings like we could with the Kiowa.
The Griffin is one of many descendants of Bell's Huey, and its civilian version is the 212. It's powered by two of Pratt & Whitney's PT6 series engines, T3 Deltas. The twin pack puts out 1,800 shaft horsepower, and the helicopter burns 700 pounds of fuel an hour. It's equipped for instrument flying and bad weather, but it has no de-icing gear. Its four-blade rotor system is almost vibration-free.
Maximum speed of 140 knots. Normally we cruise around at 120 knots. The aircraft itself has a maximum service ceiling of 20,000 feet. However, the aircrew themselves are limited to 10,000 feet without supplemental option. And as far as setup of the cabin goes, if required, it can be set up for 12 passengers. And here in theater, we've been operating with a crew of 4 and a 1,200-pound ramp load. This allows us to generally carry 4 to 5 passengers for approximately 1.5 hours.
The Griffin was extensively re-equipped for the Kosovo mission. To protect it against surface-to-air missiles, SAMs, it got a missile warning system, MAWS.
Missile warning, back left. What happens is we've got sensors on the 4 main quadrants of the aircraft, front right, front left, back right, and back left. Sensors identify the IR plume that's put out anytime a shoulder-launched missile is fired. Basically, the flame that comes out of the back of the missile will set off our missile warning gear. It's automatic and it's computer-controlled, so that as soon as we get the warning, the aircraft will pick flares out the back. We'll get an indication of the direction that the missile's coming from, and our defense is to turn into the missile, and hopefully the missile will pick up the flares instead of the heat plume coming out of the back of our aircraft. One of the problems, though, is that several other things besides missiles will set the equipment off. Fires, sun glints off windshields and whatnot. So we have several times where we're reacting to missile warnings when in reality there's no missile there, but it's part of the price of doing business over here.
Okay, here's the IRSS system. It's the infrared suppression system. This is a brand new piece of equipment, first time used. It was installed here in theater. What it's designed to do is to, through the use of the baffles and changing the airflow, is reduce the infrared signature of the aircraft's exhaust. And in doing so, reduces the aircraft heat signature by up to 70%.
On daylight missions, flight engineer Dave Murphy mans a C6 machine gun. It uses standard NATO 7.62mm ammunition. Belt-fed, it has a rate of fire of 1,000 rounds a minute. At night, when it's more dangerous, a second C6 is mounted on the other side of the aircraft.
Right handguns are
The C6 itself basically is an area weapon, and as such we use it primarily for defense. It's definitely not an offensive weapon for us. It's not intended to be. It's basically to make the enemy duck so that we can get out of the way. And we wouldn't use it in built-up areas where there's a lot of civilians or in areas where you can get collateral damage.
Also weighing down the aircraft, several hundred pounds of armor plating, installed in its belly to protect the crew from small arms fire. Some of the Griffins carry a night sun, a light that puts out 3 million candle power. Others carry a Canadian-designed and built Westcam FLIR, a forward-looking infrared thermal imaging camera. The Westcam's mounting pod is gyro-stabilized. The flight engineer, or a mission specialist, monitor the images in flight on a screen in the cabin.
Here in theater so far, we've used it mostly in a night roll, picking up any new fires or any gatherings or disturbances, and it's relayed back to our intelligence section, and basically what they do with it is draw any information that they can that will help them to do their job better.
The Griffins also have advanced avionics, including GPS for precise navigation.
One of the main advantages is the GPS on board. It's extremely accurate, and it allows us to pinpoint grids right down to the approximately 10-meter range, which on the Huey it was mostly just a map and your eyeball. With we had a navigation suite on there that wasn't near as accurate as what we've got on the Griffin. So that plus the added speed make our job a little bit easier.
The weight of the new equipment and the need to land the Griffin in tight spots, particularly in Pristina, means the Griffin crews are tested on every sortie.
Why don't we come in from this direction right here? Roger. Then we can turn as required in the LZ. You got the personnel on the ground?
Traffic night Raven, Charlie 1.
Roger, we got wires coming right to left. Packs on the ground. Okay, get out of the way, boys. 30 feet above us goes Yanks moving out slowly. Correct. Got a tree on our right, 3 o'clock. Roger. Aircraft's over the bearer. Tail's clear of the bearer, and you're clear right with the tail. And turn left.
You're 80%, you got tons of power.
And you're clear forward 15 feet, and you're clear below, clear to move down. Moving down. Left side clear?
87, left side is
Raj, tail right side are clear. The helicopter as it sits right now basically has an extra 1,000 pounds sitting on it due to the fact that we've got armor all over it, carry the machine guns, mission kits, whether it's the Night Sun or the FLIR, and of course all the associated wiring that adds weight. And some days it just takes a little more coaxing than others. Tail right side clear, clear left? You're clear above, clear above. Moving up. Skid clear. There haven't been that many days where I haven't operated it at its all-up weight, given the conditions of the day. And whether that means that you have to take or spend a little bit more time in a landing zone, trying to be creative as to how you're going to get out. And those are the kind of things that we're allowed to do, and if nothing else, it certainly sharpens our skills, and I think it'll make us better pilots all around.
We didn't blow them around too much, eh?
Nope. Aircraft's over the barrier.
Next, a night patrol over Pristina, where killers stalk the darkened streets.